Hi all. Today on this lovely cold October day, it's going to be a little different than what we're normally doing, but usually October here in Pennsylvania is when you start getting freezing temperatures. Freezing temperatures means you got to winterize the boat. So now it's about time to winterize the boat, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm going to do. So really the first thing that I did is I did this yesterday. I took the boat out for the last time of the season. Before I took the boat out, I filled it up with gas, and then I put the appropriate amount of marine grade fuel stabilizer in there. What that'll do is that'll just make sure that your fuel will be able to sit for a little bit of a while. Another thing you want to do is if you don't run non-ethanol gas, which you should always run non-ethanol gas in a boat because it's really a big issue in your boat, just like I say for the lawnmowers. It clogs up your carburetors, it clogs up your fuel injectors, it clogs up your fuel pumps, and it makes everything not run right. So you always want to use non-ethanol gas in a boat especially. Just by the odd chance you don't use non-ethanol gas, put non-ethanol gas, if you can get it, in your boat for the last time of the season, and then put your fuel stabilizer in. And then what I did is I went out and took the boat out for the last time, and I ran it a bunch with the fuel stabilizer in it, and then I try not to take it out for too long, because what you want when you store your fuel tanks is you either want your fuel tank to be full or you want it to be empty. The reasons for that is because when your fuel tank is empty, there's no fuel to rot. When your fuel tank is full, there is more fuel than if you were to have it half or empty. And the more fuel you have in your tank, the more time it takes for all that fuel to rot. Basically, a greater quantity of fuel in one space needs more time to go bad. So, either store your tank full or empty. So, I'm storing mine at about 3/4, which is almost full. Now, I'm only going to be doing this for one season, so I think we'll be fine just storing it at that 3/4 of a tank. So, make sure you treat your fuel and put non-ethanol before your last time. So, another thing that you don't necessarily have to do, but we did, is we took most of our leather out of the boat because we live in an area where we're next to woods and there's mice around. We don't want to take a chance at the mice eating our seats. So we took our driver's seat and passenger seat out, and we also took our 3 front seats out. Okay, so one more thing that I did is I took the rear. There's a big bench seat that normally goes here. As you can see on the seats, there's the indentations. Yes, this boat needs some cleaning, but that's not my main concern right now. My main concern is getting this boat winterized. As you can see, I have a 4.3 liter Alpha 1, 175 horsepower this is. I just replaced the belts. I changed the oil in the springtime, so I'm not going to be changing the oil now. 2 new batteries, 2 new battery boxes, new battery switch, new blower, rebuilt trim pump. No, not rebuilt, but fixed the trim pump. And bilge is almost dry. When we take the boat out, bilge is always dry. No issues with that. So this boat's in pretty good shape. Oh, and one important thing I kind of forgot. When you buy a cobia boat, this is a cobia boat. When you buy a cobia boat like this from 1991, brand new, it comes with a carpet floor and 1/2-inch plywood as the floor. Unfortunately, this boat, where the captain's chairs was not in that great a shape. It was all fine back by the engine compartment and whatnot. Just by the captain's chairs, the floor was terrible. So what we did is we took out the entire floor. We took out towards the back just to make it look better. And we raised the floor up by 3/4 of an inch. And we put all new fiberglass, all new wood, all new gel coat on it. We like the idea of the gel coat because it's easier to clean than carpet. So that's why we went with the gel coat. And I think it looks quite nice. But that's what we're rolling with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to warm up the engine and, let the oil get hot and let all the cylinders get moving and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to reconnect the blower tubes. And then I'm going to turn on the blower. The blower's got to be on for, even though it's wide open, I'm going to turn the blower on for 4 minutes just to make sure that all the fumes are out of the bottom of the bilge. Alright, the blower's rolling. Now I'm going to put the muffs on and get everything ready. Okay, so unfortunately I don't have a seat here to start my engine, but you know, it is what it is. So, give it a few pumps. It's always fun trying to start a carbureted engine in 40 degrees, but this engine is fantastic in starting in cold weather. Just, you'll see here. All right, let's do it. As you can see, that took next to no time to start. This carburetor's really clean. Everything works really as it should. It's starting up, takes a little time to warm up, but only about 30 seconds. Everything works good. I'm gonna leave it at, you know, an 8th throttle for a little while just to warm up a little bit and see how it goes. As you can see, it's pumping water really good. You see it coming out of the side there. It's really coming out. It sounds great. It's running on all cylinders. It's sucking the water out, pumping in. No excess smoke. Everything works good. Okay, so while the engine's warming up, I'm gonna pop off the cover on the top, and I'm gonna pop off the spark arrestor, and then just to get it ready so I can fog right down the carburetor then. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fog it. No judgment on the brand, but I have this Evinrude Johnson fogging fluid here. And there's 2 barrels on the carburetor. I'm just going to alternate between each barrel. And what I'm going to do while I'm doing that is I'm going to rev the engine up a little bit, maybe 1500 RPMs, just to get it going. And then we're going to have a big smoke show, and then hopefully I can get the engine to kill while I fog it. If I can't, then I'm just going to run over and kill it. So we're going to see how this goes. Bring the RPMs up. Fog away. So now what I just did is I sprayed a bunch of fogging fluid down the carb. I'm going to start it for half a second, nail it, and then shut it right off. I'll spray a little more down. Alright, so now our engine is fogged for the season. And look at all the smoke coming out. That's how you fog an engine right there. Okay, I'm down on the ground for this one because after I fogged it, Now what I have to do is I have to drain all the water out of the block. If I don't drain the water out of the block, the water inside the block will freeze and it'll crack the block.
Oh no.
So basically, if it cracks the block, the cylinders just won't run and your engine's garbage. I can't afford that. There's a few plugs you can take out to drain the water out of the block and out the drain plug bit. So, how you do it is this hose right here is hooked to the exhaust manifold. That has to come out and get drained. There's a plug way down there, right there. That has to come out. And then if I go around the other side, same thing. Exhaust manifold hose comes out right here. And the plug, oh boy, that's down there, is way down there. If you could see it under there. Way down there. So those plugs have to come out. The hoses have to come out and get drained. And then I'm going to fill the block up with antifreeze to prevent corrosion. And I'll show you that then. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the plugs out. If you can see, I can't get myself in there and the camera in there in order for you to see. So this is going to have to be the best view you have. I'm sorry. But I'm going to go ahead and take the plug out now. Alright, so I took that first plug out and you see it dripping down there. That's the water coming out of the block. Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Ah, it's hot.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that helped.
Yeah. A little bit.
That water's hot. Second plug. I have no clue how I'm getting to this. Oh, I guess just like that. Ooh, that's tight. Oh. Oh. Okay, so I took my two plugs out. I took the big sections out. As you can see, there's a like a small plug and a big plug. I took both the big ones out. I'm not sure if that's how it's meant to be, but that's what I did. And then what I did is I went in there with a small screwdriver in the hole. I went in the hole. I went around like that because it was barely trickling out. And it seemed to drain the block a little better. And the block's pretty much drained now. What I'm probably going to do is maybe just dump a little bit of antifreeze in the block until it starts dripping out of the drain holes just to make sure all the water's out. Maybe, maybe not. And if I am going to do that, I'm going to have to put the plugs back in anyway because I'm going to fill the block with antifreeze. So now what I have to do is I have to go on each side of the engine and take out the exhaust manifold hoses, and that'll drain everything. Okay, so I unscrewed the hose. The only problem is when I take the hose out, an obnoxious amount of water comes out, and guess where that water goes? On the deck. I don't want that. So I'm going to try to get something maybe to deflect that water a little bit. Maybe I can just pull the hose out and just let it slowly drain. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, that'll work. All right.
There you go. I'll take it.
I'm just going to dump it in here.
Sure.
I'm not done with it. I got to do the other side yet. Yep. All right, next hose, right here. I got to pop that one out. Excuse my head. All right, here we go. I'm going to drain this hose out. Let that drain out for a little bit. You know what? I should probably drain this hose too. There's probably water in there I gotta get out. Yep, that would be water. Okay, so what I did now is I put the 2 plugs back in, hopefully, and I put the bottom water pump hose back on, and I put the 2 exhaust manifold hoses back on, and I took the top of the water pump hose off. What I'm gonna do is, that's where antifreeze is gonna go. I'm gonna dump antifreeze in there until it starts coming out of the water jacket here. Once it starts coming out of there, I'm either going to dump it down the exhaust manifold hoses, or I'm going to stick a rag in there so the water level rises and it goes in the exhaust manifold hoses. So we'll see, but for now, I'm just going to start dumping antifreeze. And for this, I'll be using Starbright's -50°F marine antifreeze. Stuff's not crazy expensive. It's about $8 at a marine dealership. One down. What do we have? This one and another one. It's starting to come up now, I hear it. Oh, hey, here we go. Okay, so now, are we going to do the rag method, or are we going to take the other hoses off? Okay, so what I'm doing now is I already did it on this side. I'm pouring antifreeze down here until it comes out of the exhaust ports on the engine, just to be sure. Okay, so now all the antifreeze is in, all the water is out, the engine is fogged, the engine is ready for the winter. The engine can survive winter. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the spark arrestor back on the carburetor just to make sure no big things get in there and screw up the cylinders. Alright, now I put that Alpha 1, the shroud back on, and the spark arrestor's on. And now, move on to batteries. Testing out the bilge pump for the last time this year. It works, because we never had to use it. And, yeah, it works. Okay, now that we are done with the engine, we have to change the fluid in the lower unit, because number 1, I don't know when it was last changed. And number 2, usually you want to do it in the fall. Alright, so this is what I have going for me. I'm not sure. Some may drip down here. Maybe all of it will drip down there. If that's the case, then I'm going to have to squeeze that pan under there. So I'm going to pop the bottom plug. I'm going to pop the top plug. And I have new seals I got to put on there too. I'll put new seals on there. Oh, that's actually not bad. Now your bottom screw, it's going to look like this. It has this little stick on there. That's a magnet. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take like a paper towel or something and just wipe off that magnet. What that magnet's designed to do is catch all of the metal shavings that end up in there, just in case from something that, you know, gears grinding in an odd case or something like that. So in the rare chance that there's metal on there, just take it off. And the top screw does not have that. That's how you can differentiate between the two. Alright, so I'm going to be pumping lower unit fluid into it now, because it's all drained out. This might take a hot minute. Okay, so a little bit of a long story here. I went to go fill up the lower unit fluid, or the outdrive fluid I should say, and I was one bottle too short because the guy at the marine store told us we needed one bottle, but later on, little did we know, the internet told us we needed two. So, we went to the marine store and got another bottle, and then came back and filled it up, and then what we did is we covered up the boat. So here it is. It's all strapped down nicely. I used a trailer cover. I don't want to use the mooring covers. When I got the canvas from the guy, he said don't use it over the winter. So I said okay, I'll just use a trailer cover. And then another thing I did, I'm sure you saw back there, is I put the outdrive down to drain all the water out of it. And that's really it for this boat. It's tucked away for the winter. I took the batteries out. It's just going to sit here until 6 months later when I could use it again. Unfortunately, I can't use it now. It's sitting next to the fishing boat over there. Yeah, that's just about it. That's all I have for this video. That's really the journey I go through to winterize this boat here with the Sterndrive. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And that leaves it for me. I'll probably be doing a backpack blower next video because I have one sitting around and it's pretty bad, so I'm going to have to see if it runs or not. So hope you'll come back for that one. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.